But what are some of the top things that you regret purchasing?
You know, when I think about things that I regret purchasing, I just start looking around my office at stuff that's just like sitting there and collecting dust. One of the first ones is something that I thought I would use a lot, but never do. And that is a slider. And dude, I have bought so many sliders thinking that was going to change the game for me. Like the most recent one I bought was the Rhino Slider. And I bought the whole kit too. Now granted, the nice thing about Rhino, at least back in the day, I don't know if they still do this, but you could trade in old sliders and get a discount.
Yeah.
So I shipped in I think 2 or 3 sliders and just received like gift cards from them. They were like submit, like they were like buy something and then submit a slide and then send in a slider and we'll give you a gift card. And dude, I sent in 3 different sliders. I don't know if you're supposed to do it that way, but I did.
Yeah.
And so I sent in those sliders and then bought the Rhino pack and the whole 9. And I was like, this is it because it's going to slide on its own. Or if I'm making a YouTube video, I can have a little bit of motion to it.
Yeah.
Dude, setting that thing up sucks, bro. It just becomes so much work to set it up that I just get to the point where I'm like, is a static shot really that bad?
Yeah.
Like, does the camera need to move?
Yeah.
And then before I know it, dude, I don't even know if the thing turns on. I don't think I've turned that thing on in probably over a year. And like, it just never gets used. It never, ever gets used. So
is it a power or battery?
So it is rechargeable.
Okay.
But it's not like like you have to plug it in to recharge it. So like right now, if I wanted to use it, it definitely needs a charge.
It's like,
or
it's dead.
Probably the reason why I probably really haven't used it is because I'm afraid if I open it up right now, the cells on that battery are probably like completely just drained out. Like there's no bringing it back to life.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness, it's so strange to me because I can tell you one of my biggest regrets when I first started was I bought a lens that. Because I had a buddy that did a lot of astrophotography. And he was like, bro, you need 16 millimeters. You need 16. And I bought it. And of course, I loved it. I bought the 16 to 35. It was a beautiful astrophotography lens. But from a practicality standpoint, I needed a 35 1.4. The 2.8 wasn't going to cut it shooting wedding films and stuff like that and just random things. And so what happened is the 16 to 35, the only thing I was using it for was for fun. Just like going out, taking some time lapses every once in a while.
Yeah.
And it was like, bro, like $1,500, like whatever it was, $1,400, just burning a hole in my camera bag. And so literally in my heart, I got rid of it because I regretted it. And here's oh my gosh, this was a dumb choice on my part. Getting rid of it because it wasn't but like 5 years later that I wanted to step into real estate and needed to get another copy of the 16 to 30. Oh my gosh, I was so mad.
You had to buy the same lens twice?
Buy it twice, bro. Dude. And so I have it again.
Yeah.
So, but it was a big regret. Turned out, and to be fair, you can't use 16. I mean, you could use 16 for a lot. Sure, whatever. But like for what I was shooting at the time, people.
Yeah. Portraits.
Yeah.
16 millimeter.
Sure, you could go up to the 35.
Yeah.
But it's just like, if you have a 1.4, are you really going to use your 16 to 35 2.8?
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're going to use. So anyways, that was a huge regret. But now that I shoot real estate, I've turned that regret around.
You know what's funny? I actually remember when I bought my first L series Canon lens.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at Best Buy, and I specifically got a job at Best Buy because I wanted the discount. That was it. I was like, I would need to buy a camera. I want to buy lenses. And so I was like, I can get a job. They can pay me. I can learn about this stuff while I'm working there. But at the same time, I can get a discount to be able to buy what I want, right? And so after working there for a while, saved up some money. I was like, all right, it's time to get into this world. So I bought a few things, got a T2i, got the Nifty 50, had the 18 to 55 kit lens. I was like, I am on it.
Yeah.
And then I started doing a little bit of research, and I was like, oh man, look at these lenses with this red ring. all the professionals
seriously
have this red ring. I need the red ring. Now, I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about lenses being the reason why you have certain apertures. I had no idea that
weather sealing. Yeah.
No, dude, I saw the red ring and I was like, that is pro.
Yeah.
I want to be a pro. You got to dress for the job you want to have.
Yeah.
Right? Dude, I remember I was like, okay, what is the cheapest L series lens you can buy? And
Let me guess, an F4?
It wasn't F4.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was the 17 to 55, maybe.
Yeah.
F4 lens. Now, granted.
But it had that ring.
But it had that red ring. Dude, I remember I was like, okay, I can find this lens. I found this lens at a Best Buy, like way across town.
Yeah.
The discount on Canon lenses were not very good as an employee.
Seriously.
So I was like, all right, that's fine. I was like, I'm going to go pick up this lens. So I went and grabbed the lens. And dude, at the time, I had a 50 millimeter 1.8. And I was taking portraits with that lens, and I thought the portraits were looking great. I mean,
they are great.
They are great, right?
That 51.8 was crazy.
Dude, tell me why I put the 17 on there and started taking photos. And I was like, what did I buy? Now, also, I'm shooting on a T2i. So I bought this full frame lens, this super expensive red ring lens on this camera. And I'm like, why won't this number drop below 4? When I put this lens on here, it goes all the way down to 1.8. And that makes everything look better. Dude, you talk about a lens sitting in the bag. I left this lens in the bag constantly because I was like, I don't know why this sucks so bad.
Dude, I'm sure they made it for someone.
I don't know who.
They made it for someone. I don't know who they made it for, but glory. Not everything. I rock with you. Not everything you make is good.
Dude, I was so hot. And then what was crazy was, so at this time I met my friend Sticks, and he had the 16 to 35 2.8.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, dude, I got this shoot coming up. It was like a fashion thing. I was just basically running around on a gimbal. And I was like, can I borrow your 16 to 35? I just want to test it out, use it on this shoot. And he was like, yeah, but here, throw this on the front. And he put like an ND filter on there. And I was like, ooh, what the hell is that? He was like, trust me, if you're shooting outside, just put this on the front, and then you can set it to 2.8 and you can use it. And I went out and I shot with this 16 to 35 with a 2.8, and it had an ND filter on it. And bro, I thought I was Scorsese. I saw the footage out of this thing and I was like, oh my God.
Especially on a gimbal, bro.
On a gimbal?
Especially on a gimbal.
2.8, shooting a person, and then I was switching from 16 to 35, so I was getting different framing. I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. This is amazing.
Did you use a glide cam ever?
Dude, you talk about some buying regrets. I never got the glide cam balance.
Never.
I bought 2 of those suckers. Never got one balance.
It was good for like the first 2 seconds, and
dude,
then
it
starts
good
turning.
Until I let my finger. Dude, I watched Devin Supertramp and did all that stuff. I bought cheap ones, and I was like, maybe it's because it's cheap, right? No. It was because I just never learned how to balance it properly.
You have to be a
special individual.
A specialist.
Dude, it was so, but yeah, no, I learned when I shot with that 16-35 2.8, I learned like how big of a regret my 17-55 purchase was. And I learned the difference between 2.8 and F4. Like, these are the things that, like, growing up in an era where you didn't have YouTube to like explain this stuff to you.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know what I didn't know. So I'm just like buying lenses based off of what I see other people doing. I don't know why it's working for them.
Yeah.
And I'm just learning all these things the hard way. And so, yeah, dude, I learned very quickly just like what the difference between F4 and 2.8 was. So, hey, thanks so much for checking out the Uncensored channel. Do us a huge favor. If you enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to join us live every single Friday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. We have so much fun and we want you to be there. So subscribe so you don't miss it.